Stam Garden Center. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa. It's more than a drugstore. They offer framing, merchandise like collectibles, a gift shop, crafts, college gear, and more. Plus cards, candles, and a whole lot more. Mahaska Drug is open late and on the weekends to fit your lifestyle. For more than just a drugstore, call 641-673-3439 or stop by Mahaska Drug at 205 North E Street in Oskaloosa. Mahaska Drug. It's more than a drugstore. Sigourney Keota football fans, Steve Shetler Media is teaming up with Clint Dye of Tag Team Photography to bring you coverage of Sigourney Keota football this fall. You've seen Clint's fantastic photos of Sigourney Keota football over the last few years, and now Clint is bringing those talents to be showcased on Steve Shetler Media. We're going to have pictures and action shots of each and every game, an in-depth article, and a video highlight of the game as well. You won't miss a thing with Sigourney Keota football coverage right here this year on Steve Shetler Media. Bridget's Public House is an Irish pub located at 208 First Avenue East, Oskaloosa. Bridget's Public House hopes you find it a warm, welcoming space that also serves delicious, unique Irish-based options created in their kitchen. And don't forget a cold beverage of choice. Located just off the square next to True Value. Come in and check out the unique decor at Bridget's Public House while enjoying a beverage or food. Follow Bridget's Public House on Facebook and stop in person at 208 First Avenue East, Oskaloosa. That's Bridget's Public House. Locally owned and operated.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the thousands listening locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to Shetler!
Indeed, we are rumbling, bumbling, stumbling into a Monday here on Steve Shetler Media. It is time for the morning wake up. Right now, 46 cool degrees here in Southeast Iowa. Morning wake up being brought to us by our friends at Stam Garden Center and Nursery, where you can experience the color. They are open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6, closed on Sundays. Stam Garden Center and Nursery, right along Highway 92 East, Oskaloosa. Make sure you stop into Stam's. And we broadcast live from the Oski Dental Studios. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Dan Schuster. Give him a call, 641-673-4845. They're accepting new patients. Oski Dental going to file your insurance forms for you. Delta Dental provider at 902 South 17th Street, Oskaloosa. We thank both Stams and Oski Dental for being a huge part of our morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Our forecast, it's brought to us by The Garden Gate at 105 South Jefferson Street in Sigourney. And you can stop in and see Cindy. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon. And for today, nice and sunny out, a little bit warmer, high of 81, southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, a low of 52. Sunshine again tomorrow, a little bit warmer, a high of 84. Clear skies tomorrow night, low of 54. And Wednesday will be sunny and a little bit warmer. That's kind of the trend for this week. A high of 87 on Wednesday. Right now, current conditions, we have humidity at just 77%. Winds are southwest at about 5 miles per hour. The barometer is 30.18, dew point at 44. Currently here in the Oskey Dental Studios, the National Weather Service equipment is saying we are currently at 46 degrees here in the big town of Sigourney. Your weather sponsored by the Garden Gate in Sigourney, Iowa. Let's see here. Earlier this morning, we put up our This or That. It's brought to us by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and Welcome Realty. And our This for today is college football. Our That is pro football. What do you think? I am definitely college football on this one. I'll watch the NFL if it's on. I don't mind it, but I don't really have any big interest in the NFL. I don't have a favorite team. As a kid, I never really latched on to any of the Midwest teams. I think Neil and I were talking last week. I kind of liked the Redskins as a kid, but I don't know. I just don't really care about the NFL all that much. I'll watch the Super Bowl and all that stuff, but I don't know. Whatever. College football is where it's at for me. I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan, obviously, through and through, so it was a rough weekend to be a Hawkeye fan. Heartbreaker in Iowa City against Iowa State, but regardless, I'm sticking with college football on This or That. You can let your comments be known. I just scroll back to 6 a.m. and find that on my timeline and put your comment in for This or That. Coming up at noon today, we'll go with our question of the day, brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa, and they're located at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Our question is, when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? So, I don't know, what do you think on that one? When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? I'm trying to think back. I always kind of had a little bit of a fascination with media, with radio and TV. So, I kind of grew up doing what I wanted to do. It was either that or professional wrestling. And I wasn't big enough to be a pro wrestler. So I know my parents are so proud. Pro wrestling or media, but I ended up going with media. So there you go. I kind of did what I wanted to do when I was a kid. Our question of the day goes up at noon. It's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa. We started up our new For the Fun of It tournament yesterday, as voting on this matchup goes through 6 p.m. this evening. We are doing the fall season for our topic of the tournament this month, and we have a new sponsor on board. It's sponsored by Colbert Feed in Sigourney. They are more than just a feed mill. Check out Colbert Feed. They're your horse source in Keokuk County. Check out Colbert Feed in Sigourney by the Expo. And our matchup for today, that goes till 6 o'clock, is trick-or-treating versus soups and chowders. If I was a kid, I would obviously go with trick-or-treating. As an adult, I'm going with my wife's corn chowder. My wife makes some good corn chowder. So soups and chowders against trick-or-treating. Thumbs up for the trick-or-treating. Hearts for the soups and chowders. It's kind of different. This is a different tournament. You got all sorts of weird stuff going at it in our tournament. In fact, let's take a look at our bracket. I haven't brought that up yet. We got trick-or-treating. We got pumpkin spice everything. Sweaters, sweatshirts. We've got going back to school, football, Thanksgiving. All sorts of fall stuff. Gonna battle it out in our fall season tournament. For the Fun of It tournament, brought to us by Colbert Feed in Sigourney. Make sure you give them a follow and check out everything they have to offer at Colbert Feed in Sigourney. Your For the Fun of It tournament. What else we got going on? Coming up later on this week here on Steve Shetler Media tomorrow, We'll have TNT, Tuesday Night Tune-Up, streaming live from Smoky Row in Oskaloosa. That'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, hosted by Safe Graphic. I think Safe was still waiting to hear on a special guest for tomorrow night, so fingers crossed that'll happen. But tune in for TNT if you like local racing, local and area racing and drivers. That's Tuesday Night Tune-Up from Smoky Row. Coming up on Friday, we've got this duo. They're called the Cedar County Cobras, and they are going to be coming to Barnwired in Sigourney this Friday from 11:30 to noon. So yeah, this is going to be something a little bit different, but cool. A stand-up bass, guy that plays guitar and drums. So we're going to squeeze them in to the set at Barnwired, 11:30 to noon this Friday, 11:30 to noon for the Iowa Music Showcase. Make sure you stop in, be part of the live audience if you'd like, or just watch right here on Steve Shuttler Media. Coming up on Friday night, we've got Pekin football, as Josh Clubb and Zach Wise have the call of the game. I chime in on occasion, and we'll be on the road. It's the first road test for Pekin at Danville coming up this Friday night. So tune in, Pekin at Danville. Pekin off to a roaring start. They have absolutely dismantled their first two opponents, Cardinal and Van Buren. If you missed the broadcast on Friday night, it was 54-0. Pekin beat Van Buren. The cool thing was, after the first quarter, they had a helicopter landing at midfield to honor the families of Bob Snow and Robert Adams. Bob, a legendary coach for Pekin, and Robert Adams, a young man who just passed away recently from Van Buren. So the crew from that helicopter honored both of those families. It was a pretty cool thing. Make sure you go back and check out that video. If you want to see that in particular, just fast forward to the end of the first quarter for the helicopter landing that took place during the broadcast on Steve Shuttler Media. Coming up on Saturday, we go back to Brothers Market for the sports section. During football season, we're always going to have Pekin's Clint Weber and SK's Jared Jensen on the show. We are going to try to sandwich in somebody in between, so stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on that this week. The sports section live from Brothers Market every Saturday morning here on Steve Shuttler Media. I'm trying to think what else we got to go. Did I miss anything? Oh, I did want to give you some pictures from my weekend. Now, I did some pro wrestling. Maybe you saw the pregame show for Central Empire Wrestling at the Bridgeview Center in Ottumwa on Saturday. We went on about 5 o'clock. Jeff Alexander, the voice of CEW, helped host the show on Saturday. So if you like wrestling, or if you just want to be entertained by some pro wrestling interviews, make sure you check that out. That was on Saturday at about 5 o'clock. What you're looking at right there are the Steve Shuttler Media turnbuckles that were in the ring, that were in every corner of the ring on Saturday night at the Bridgeview Center. So that was fun. Got to meet the tag team Demolition. Here comes the Axe. And here comes the Smasher. Yes, they are older now, obviously, looking at the picture, but they still paint their faces up, and I still wouldn't mess with either one of them. Demolition. And what they're holding up there is they're kind of like little mini doll type things that I collect. So they autographed those for me. So that was fun. They had a bunch of great stars, current wrestlers, and I believe they packed about 800 plus people into the Bridgeview Center for the wrestling show Saturday at the Bridgeview Center with Central Empire Wrestling. So a lot of fun on Saturday night for some pro wrestling. Let's take a look at our community calendar here on Steve Shuttler Media, as some stuff coming up here on our calendar. Toddler Story Time with Miss Amanda at the Sigourney Public Library is Mondays at 11:30, so that'll be a little bit later on today. If you want to take advantage of that, that starts today. Today is actually the kickoff for that. So Toddler Story Time, Mondays at 11:30 at the Sigourney Public Library. Get in on that. Just a reminder, once again, the rodeo that was scheduled for the Expo Fair over the summer that got stormed out, that is coming back. That has been rescheduled, and that will be on Saturday, September 21st. Is that right? Yeah, Saturday, September 21st at the Expo in Sigourney, Rogue Rodeo. So put that on your calendars. And then also on the calendar, coming up later this week on Saturday, we've got the Heartland Humane Society Dog Wash, free will donations to help. They are, as we've been talking about during the weekly pet segments with the Heartland Humane Society, and I know the Stephen Memorial Animal Shelter is running into a lot of the same problems. These shelters are just overflowing, literally overflowing with cats and dogs right now. So many cats and dogs that need homes that they're just putting the cats and dogs wherever they can find. I mean, they're literally putting up just makeshift kennels for these animals. So if you're thinking about adopting, now would be a good time to go check out the selection of cats and dogs at your local shelter. Again, the Heartland Humane Society having a dog wash, free will donations for the Heartland Humane Society to help with kennels and other supplies. That's Saturday, 8 to noon at the Albia and Oskaloosa locations. I'm not sure what locations. I guess it doesn't say on there. So anyway, Heartland Humane Society, help them out if you can. Let's do some birthdays. Happy birthday. All right, birthdays for today. Birthdays, celebrity and hometown birthdays brought to us by Nikki Leathers at Hometown Real Estate, your realtor. Go to hometown-re.com to see all the listings. Only one on the hometown birthdays side of things. We've got Jim Billman, a former longtime Sigourney resident, and Jim, an author. Make sure you check out his book. What is the name of his book? Is Underhanded, his most recent book. So Jim Billman with a birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Jim. Celebrity birthdays for today. We've got football's Joe Theismann, 75 years old. Joe was a great quarterback and broadcaster as well. Joe Theismann, 75. Got Tom Wopat. Let's see here. He was Luke Duke, wasn't he? Bo and Luke. Dukes of Hazzard, if I'm thinking right. Tom Wopat, 73. Dave Stewart. He was kind of the guitar player, keyboard player for the band The Eurythmics with Annie Lennox back in the day. 72 years old for Dave Stewart. Got actor Hugh Grant turning 64. Actor, comedian Adam Sandler, 58. Basketball's B.J. Armstrong. Of course, he was an Iowa Hawkeye. Went on to win several world championships with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. B.J. turning 57 today. Model Rachel Hunter is 55. Elliot. Henry Thomas, the actor who was Elliot in E.T. back in the day. 53 years old for Henry Thomas. And then singer Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé. Turning 49. I always thought, yeah, it had such a weird name. Bublé. 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 Michael Bublé turning 49 today. Those are your celebrity and hometown birthdays brought to us by Hometown Real Estate. Good morning, Bublé. Bublé. It's 7:19. We've got 47 degrees, and it is Monday, September 9th. On this date in history, 1776, the Continental Congress authorized the term United States to replace United Colonies. So officially became the United States back in 1776. 1850 on this date, California became our 31st state. And also on this date, oh man, it was a big day. In 1890, Colonel Sanders was born. That delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. I can eat a whole bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love it. Colonel Sanders, yes. Born in 1890. Today, on the National Day calendar, it's National Teddy Bear Day. Make sure you hug your teddy bear. It's National Wiener Schnitzel Day. It's National Boss Employee Exchange Day. I've got an exchange for you, pal, which is always the Monday after Labor Day, so a week later. So National Boss Employee Exchange Day. I tell you what, I have a great boss-employee relationship going on these days. Love it. I love my boss. Actually, sometimes I don't like my boss. It's me, of course, but National Boss Employee Exchange Day. Hey, we are doing the morning wake up. It is brought to us by Stam Garden Center and Nursery.
Stam Garden Center. Transform your indoor and outdoor space with our stunning selection. Visit us today, open 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, located at 2421 Highway 92, Oskaloosa.
As you plan your holiday grilling, consider serving a semi-sweet red wine from Tassel Ridge Winery to complement your steak and sweet corn. Iowa Silky St. Croix is a big wine with soft black cherry notes and a long fruity finish. It will make a great meal even better. The Iowa Silky St. Croix offers big red wine flavors softened with fruit and a little sweetness. It's available at some of our nearly 400 retail outlets in Iowa. If you don't see it at your favorite store, ask the manager to get it for you. Check the QR code to go directly to our website for a list of retailers. Tassel Ridge Winery is located in Lighton on Highway 163 between Pella and Oskaloosa and is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 10 to 6, and Sunday from noon to 6. Check our website at tasselridge.com.
Life's better when you're under our roof. Because when you feel totally protected, your family's free to enjoy their dreams.
Try it again. You're getting the hang of this. Good job.
American Family Insurance.
Contact Christy Tarr in Oskaloosa at 641-673-8965.
When shopping here at Helmuth Ford, we will do our best to put you in the vehicle that you want, that you love, and that is safe for your family.
Your safety is our focus. That's why we are a full-service repair facility.
We'd love to sell you a vehicle of your choosing. If we don't have it, we'll do our best to find it for you. If you're looking for a vehicle with low miles, a great price, and a friendly atmosphere, come visit us here at Helmuth Ford.
We look forward to seeing you soon.
See our full inventory at helmuthford.com.
Watch Pekin Panther football live right here this fall on Steve Shuttler Media, Facebook, and YouTube with live announcers and an updated scoreboard, plus an area scoreboard to keep you updated on other schools of interest. It's Pekin Panther football live right here on Steve Shuttler Media. Oh yeah, we are covering Pekin Panther football all season long on Steve Shuttler Media. Pekin at Danville coming up this Friday. Pekin just destroying people left and right to start the season. They should get a little bit more of a test at Danville coming up on Friday night. You'll catch it live here on Steve Shuttler Media. We're doing the morning wake up brought to us by Stam Garden Center and Nursery. Broadcasting live from the Oski Dental Studios. Let's do some things you need to know. Wow. Things you need to know if you watched the NFL kick things off on Thursday night. Kansas City's thrilling win over Baltimore. It was the most watched NFL kickoff game since it started back in 2002 with the Thursday night games. Now, the game had a total audience average of 28.9 million people, surpassing the 27.6 million that watched the Patriots beat the Steelers in the 2015 openers. So, NFL, man, they just bring in big numbers. People like to watch the NFL on TV. One thing you're going to be seeing less of on TV is the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, as NBC going to be not doing tonight's show on Friday night, as Jimmy Fallon just going to be on 4 nights a week, eliminating the Friday night broadcast. So evidently, people not tuning in Friday nights, so just going to go down to 4 nights a week for Jimmy Fallon. According to a report from Bloomberg published on Friday, 32-year-old Selena Gomez has officially crossed over the mark to billionaire status. Selena Gomez, I didn't realize she was that big of a deal. So Selena Gomez now a billionaire. Congratulations to her. Big money. Big money. Let's see here. Back to the NFL. They did announce over the weekend that Kendrick Lamar going to be headlining the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. But sounds like a good bathroom break for me. Kendrick Lamar. Let's see here. If you're a fan of the TV show Only Murders in the Building, that has been renewed. There will be a season 5 for that particular show. Some sad news in music. Music innovator Brazil's Sergio Mendes has passed away. He was 83 years old. Let's see here in oil news. At the rate that domestic oil is being produced, we could be seeing under $3 a gallon gas by November, just in time for the election. What do you know? Gas under $3. And I think I saw somewhere over the weekend that some places here in Iowa had under $3 gas, so that's a good thing. Let's see here, a rare Wilt Chamberlain rookie card for basketball that was discovered last month, sitting in a closet for over 60 years, has sold. You know how much for? $1.7 million. A rookie Wilt Chamberlain card. Check your attic. Maybe you have a rookie Wilt Chamberlain somewhere. $1.7 million. Let's go to fast food. McDonald's has rolled out a new McFlurry container, as the plastic lid evidently is gone. Plus, now they are serving mini McFlurries. So some changes there. Also, McDonald's is coming out with Happy Meals for adults, and they're calling them collector's meals, as it's a McDonald's combo meal that comes with 6 unique collectible cups. So collectible meals, basically Happy Meals for adults. One thing that's coming out in the world of candy are 9 years after being pulled from the store shelves, M&M's bringing back peanut butter-filled M&M's. I thought I had some of those recently. Did they really do away with peanut butter? Maybe I just got an old bag from 9 years ago. I would have swore that they still had peanut butter M&Ms. I don't know. Do I believe this story? I think they might be pulling my leg. How about this? The Federal Reserve expected to lower interest rates when they meet on September 18th. That'd be good. Creators of South Park say that they're going to be holding off on any new episodes until after the election. The guys at South Park say they can't think of anything new that they could say about Donald Trump. So they're going to wait till after the election for new episodes for South Park. Red Lobster. My wife and I just recently ate at the Red Lobster up at Coralville. Red Lobster seems to be just inching their way out of bankruptcy, at least enough to continue operating 544 of their restaurants. So I love Red Lobster. So hopefully they can stick around. Let's see here. Coming up tomorrow night, the first presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Presidential debate going to be tomorrow night on ABC. That should be some interesting television. In music, Sting has released his first new song in like 3 years. So if you're a Sting fan, remember Sting, his solo career, and with the Police, Sting with a new tune out there. Make sure you check that out. Speaking of that election, you were talking about the debate. Sunday, November 3rd is the day that we turn the clocks back an hour. So time change coming up on Sunday, November 3rd, that Saturday into that Sunday. So hopefully you'll be well rested before Election Day. Time change coming up that first weekend in November. And then also, finally today, in some things you need to know, the rumor is that Apple will be rolling out a new iPhone today at a special event. So if you're a big iPhone person, be on the lookout for that. Let's go ahead and do today's impossible question. Oh, it's not impossible. Somebody can get this. 38% of people say doing this brings them instant happiness. Again, today's impossible question. 38% of people say that doing this brings them instant happiness. Think about that. We'll get back to that here momentarily. Let me grab my phone, take a look at the comments. Bubby, good morning to you. Sandy, Dixie, Jackie, my Aunt Deb, Cindy, Nancy, Amber, Tamra, Jan, Brad, Sherry, the Stalker, Westendorf, and Sherry Clark. Gas under $3 in Ankeny. Good deal. I give Sherry Westendorf a hard time. She was at the Pekin football game on Friday night, and then she shows up at Brothers Market for the sports section on Saturday morning. So Sherry is everywhere. I'm wondering, is she in the studio right now? Is she out in the bushes out in front of the house? I don't know. I'm kidding, Sherry. Marcia, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Again, today's impossible question. 38% of people say doing this brings them instant happiness. It is hugging somebody. Hug somebody, and you'll have instant happiness, according to 38% of you. And good morning to you, Amanda, coming in from the big town of Watchier. Appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. Let's get weird.
That is weird.
In some weird. Well, you know that Dolly Parton song, Working 9 to 5? Well, might have to change it around to Working 10 to 4. According to what they call a global traffic scorecard for 2023 that was released earlier this summer by a traffic data analysis firm, it says that traffic patterns reveal a, quote, new normal. Basically, a workday is no longer 9 to 5, but more like 10 to 4, according to traffic patterns from around the world. Now, living here in small town southeast Iowa, I can tell you what, that traffic out there, in the morning commute in Sigourney, it is just outrageous. Kidding. My commute each morning is from my bedroom to the kitchen to eat breakfast, and then from the kitchen to the studio here at the house. So I don't have much of a commute. But commute from 10 to 4 is what they're saying. Let's go to England. A soccer player in England has been ruled out with an injury after a, quote, pretty hefty sneeze. An injury due to a sneeze. I mean, I'm old. I'm 52 years old. So, I mean, it doesn't take much to injure myself. You know, if you sleep in the wrong position, you can throw your back out, you know. So sneezing and injuring yourself is not out of the question for, you know, like people like me. But a soccer player sneezing and injuring himself is newsworthy. Let's see here. His name is Victor Adaboyeo. I'm probably messing that up. A third tier of the English Soccer League is on one of the teams there. Hurt his back due to a sneeze this past Monday. They say, quote, Victor has been suffering with a nasty back injury, and a sneeze set it off. Believe it or not. That's according to the manager of the soccer team. He says, quote, Victor is a powerful boy, and even his sneezes are powerful. They say he felt a bit of a crack in between his ribs. We're hopeful it was just a cartilage or muscular issue. So they're not sure, but a sneeze injuring a professional soccer player. How about this? Let's go to the UFC, kind of. Conor McGregor, you know, that feisty Irish fighter, Conor McGregor. Conor is running for president of Ireland. He is fed up with the, quote, charlatans in charge of his native Ireland. The former UFC 2-division champion plans to enter the political arena next year to shake up the establishment or to dissolve it completely and give the power back to the working class. He says, quote, as president, I hold the power to summon the Dáil as well as dissolve it. So as I said before, I would have all the answers the people of Ireland seek from these thieves. So Conor McGregor, we'll see if the UFC fighter will become president of Ireland. And let's see here, finally in some weird news today, if my Irish accent wasn't weird enough for you, in an effort to enhance the research abilities of biologists, Stanford University researchers have discovered that applying a popular food coloring to the skin of mice has allowed them to see through the rodent's internal organs and other structures. Food dye. So they're applying food dye to mice, and they can basically make the mice transparent. Interesting. Transparent mice. That does it for the weird news. Let's go to the files of law and disorder here on the Morning Wake Up, brought to us by Stam Garden Center from the Oski Dental Studios. This is disturbing. The Las Vegas police have arrested a woman who stole a coffin with a body in it from a funeral home in Vegas. What happens in Vegas? The woman said that she was drunk at the time and had no recollection of this happening. Her name is Patricia Sierra, 47 years old, broke into the Affordable Cremation and Burial Funeral Home, stole a coffin containing a human body. Now, surveillance footage showed the woman breaking through a window and unlocking the front door before proceeding to enter the property's viewing room, and then she wheeled a coffin outside. She apparently dumped the body outside of the funeral home. After that, she left the coffin as well and fled the criminal scene. They got a 911 call at about 3:30 a.m. So a drunk woman stealing a coffin, dumping the body, and then just leaving everything right there outside of the funeral home. So let's see here. She faces charges of burglary, grand larceny, and disturbing human remains. That is bizarro. She does remain in custody at the moment. Shall we do something that could possibly make you smile?
Something that makes you smile.
Let's do something that'll make you smile. It's brought to us by our friends at Lifetime Dental Solutions, Dr. Stacy Freeze. They've got their new location, 115 South Jefferson in Sigourney. Make sure you check them out, Dr. Stacy Freeze, with something to make you smile. This might make you smile. Let's see here. A cat who went missing from his family's Texas home nearly 3 years ago has been reunited with his owners after turning up in Massachusetts. Again, started in Texas, ended up in Massachusetts. 2,000 miles from his original home. They have no idea how the cat got from Texas and ended up in Massachusetts. So if you want to read this full story, it's going to go up on my Facebook page at 7:45 this morning here in a few minutes. So something to make you smile, a lost cat returning home after 3 years and 2,000 miles away. Something to make you smile, brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions. And shall we do some duh?
Duh.
Oh, of course we should.
Duh.
We got to do the duh. Good morning to you, Samantha and Douglas in the comments. Appreciate you guys and everybody for hanging out on a Monday. And our morning wake-up brought to us by Stams. Well, in the duh, one person is dead because, duh. This happened again. We go back to Las Vegas. Lots of weird things happening in Vegas. A person dead after an incident at a Las Vegas hospital. It was reported on Wednesday around 1:34 a.m. Investigators say 29-year-old Barrett Hawkins was lying in the private drive of a hospital. So he was laying down in the driveway. A Las Vegas Fire Department ambulance traveling came through the property. The ambulance turned into the hospital's ambulance bay, striking Hawkins, who was laying down in the driveway. Emergency medical and hospital personnel responded to the pedestrian and transported him to the hospital for life-saving treatment. Despite all their efforts, Hawkins succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead. So he got ran over by an ambulance in the driveway of a hospital because he was laying down at 1:30 in the morning in the driveway. That's not a good place to be lying down at that time of the night. So, unfortunately, he gets to die today. And finally, on our Monday morning wake up, let's go to the box office. What movies made the most money over the weekend? Beetlejuice. The sequel to Beetlejuice from way back when brought in $110 million. So some nice money for Beetlejuice, number one. Deadpool and Wolverine all the way down there at number 2 with $7.2 million. So number one movie, Beetlejuice, $110 million. Deadpool with $7.2 million. So $103 million gap between the number 1 and 2 spots. We've got Reagan at number 3 with $5.2 million. Alien at number 4 with $3.9. And number 5 movie, It Ends With Us at $3.7. Everything else is under $3 million. Had The Forge, Twisters, Blink Twice, Despicable Me, and The Front Room. Your top 10 money-making movies. But again, the vast majority of the money going to the new Beetlejuice movie. Let's take another look at our forecast. It's brought to us by The Garden Gate. Nice and sunny today, 81. And as you can see, we'll have a gradual warm-up through this week till we hit a high on Wednesday of 87 degrees. Right now, we're at 48. A nice, cool, crisp 48 degrees here in Sigourney on this Monday morning. Let's see here. Coming up here shortly at 8 a.m., we'll go to In Remembrance Of. That'll be at 8 a.m. every weekday here on Steve Shetler Media. Later on today, let's see here. We've got Successful Farming. We'll have Real Talk with Aaron Fleming and myself. That's at 6:30. 7 o'clock, we're going to get some wrestling. Card subject to change. The guys from the Quad Cities talking about pro wrestling at 7 o'clock. And, of course, we'll have all of our other stuff here on Facebook that we do. Question of the day. Our tournament is going on. Later on today, we'll announce our nominees for the Athlete and Team of the Week. Lots of great athletes and teams will be nominated, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Okay, that does do it for our morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Again, brought to us by Stam Garden Center, right up here. Stam Garden Center and Nursery in Oskaloosa. From the Oski Dental Studios. Make sure you schedule your appointment with them. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the weather. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.